Hi, Lee Phillips here, and I want to answer the question, should I have a holding company? Everybody's saying, oh, you need a Wyoming holding company, and I had a specific case recently where the guy is setting up a property management company in another state, we'll say Ohio, and he's been told that he needs a holding company, an LLC in Wyoming, that owns the company in Ohio. Is that really necessary? And the answer is 99% of the cases, no. You do not want a holding company. Because a holding company, if I have a holding company here and then I have baby LLCs underneath it, then if I attack the holding company, I get all of the assets that it owns, which is all of the other LLCs. And the disaster I've seen, and they do this, they'll make the holding company a corporation. That means you own the stock in the corporation. There's no charging order protection for that. Look up charging order protection, see if you haven't seen it yet. But I can get this holding company and then I automatically own all of the other companies. If the holding company's an LLC, okay, I've got that. They say, well, Wyoming has more business-friendly laws. It has better charging order protection. Charging order protection is basically the same. Wyoming only requires one member, one owner, in order to get the charging order protection. We've talked about that in other videos. We've got 15 or so states that say you got to have at least two owners to get the charging order protection. There's a reason for that. But, okay, I've got my company in Ohio or in Florida. You put your company in Florida. All states basically have laws. Florida has a law that says you're going to play in my sandbox, and the reason I like Florida is there's a lot of sand down there to play in. But you're going to play in my sandbox, you're going to use my laws. So I've got to have the company set up in the state where it's doing business or where it owns the property. Now, if it's owned by Wyoming, I don't really care because the assets are in this company. This company is subject to Ohio or Florida laws, and they don't have to go to Wyoming to sue you. They're going to sue you in Ohio. They're going to use Ohio laws, and they're going to get whatever assets they can out of this company. Now, charging order protection should work in Ohio. That would protect the company assets from what happens to you. You have the corporate shield, which protects you and your assets from what happens in the company. Where does this holding company come in? It really doesn't, guys. They're making millions and millions of dollars convincing people they need a Wyoming holding company. They not only get the fee for setting it up, they get the annual fee every year for maintaining it in Wyoming. It's huge business. Now, you could go to Nevada, you could go to Delaware, you go to New Mexico. There's a group running around saying you got to have it in Utah. BS. I'm in Utah. We don't have any better laws than anybody else. But they're selling you. Wyoming LLC holding this Ohio might give you that much more asset protection. Can you see it? That much more asset protection in a problem that's this big. I mean, they're going to get you in this 99% of the problem before they ever get to the Wyoming holding company. Is there an advantage? Yeah, no. Does it hurt? Yeah, it costs you a lot of money. Does it do much? No. It taxes? No. Asset? No. I just don't see. There's another aspect to it in this particular example, and that is we've got an Ohio property management company. A property management company doesn't have any equipment, that doesn't have any assets. So what if it gets sued? So what if the charging order fails? There's nothing in this company to get. You have to think, what am I protecting? Well, if I've got a $1 billion apartment building, 60 stories in this LLC, that's got to be protected. Will the Wyoming holding company give me any more protection? No, not really. That much in a problem that's this big. So I just don't see the holding companies, guys. You got to file a tax return in Wyoming. You got to do all of the rest of this stuff in Wyoming. The cost is in Wyoming, plus the cost in Ohio, which is the exact same as if you just had the Ohio company. The Ohio company pays the taxes. It's subject to the lawsuit. It's going to use Ohio laws. I can't see it, guys. Yeah, I know the arguments, but they're about that thick in a problem that's 2 feet deep. So my answer is no. Now, get my course, How to Use an LLC, what's it called, Soraya?
You have an LLC mini course.
LLC mini course, that one. It's pretty good, actually. I'm getting old to see now. I can't remember all this stuff. And don't forget to love us and like us. In fact, share this with your people who are getting sold on these Wyoming, Nevada, Delaware companies. Because in my 40 years, I have never seen one person that says, wow, my Wyoming, my Nevada company saved my tushy. It ain't never happened to me, boys, and I've seen a lot of it. So 99.9% of the time, you're wasting your money. Lee Phillips, wasting your money.